Meanwhile, there's a lot of people that don't believe what you believe. What you just said, Lawrence, is absolutely true. Yeah. And one of them is Rashida Tlaib.
Yeah, before we play this soundbite, Peter Doocy's wife, Hillary, your daughter-in-law.
My favorite correspondent on Capitol Hill.
She stayed late yesterday because she wanted to get this interview, and she's following her through the hallway, asking her about what we were talking about earlier, all those babies that were decapitated, and the Hamas went into their neighborhood and took control of it, the entire kibbutz, which was 1,200 residents, and some of them were beheaded right in front of their parents, and then their parents were killed after the parents had to watch their babies beheaded. So that's what, and then she has a Palestinian flag outside of her office. So Hillary's asking her about, do you condone what's happening?
Watch.
Terrorists have cut off babies' heads and burned children alive. Do you support Israel's rights to defend themselves against this brutality?
We're just going to go through there.
You can't comment about Hamas terrorists chopping off babies' heads. Do you condone what Hamas has done, chopping off babies' heads, burning children alive, raping women in the street? You have no comment about children's heads being chopped off? Congressman, why do you have the Palestinian flag outside your office if you do not condone what Hamas terrorists have done to Israel? Do Israeli lives not matter to you?
That should be the easiest question in the world to answer. Are you okay with Hamas cutting off babies' heads? The answer is, that's savage. It's terrible. It's wrong. Did she say it? No, she ran, she retreated to an elevator, and she had her staff, Lawrence, essentially run interference so Hillary's camera person couldn't get a shot of Tlaib not saying the right thing. Tlaib said nothing, which is the wrong thing.
Yeah, and she's never met a camera that she didn't like before. She always has something to say, her and the rest of the squad members. But suddenly, they have nothing to say about this. And to your point, Brian, you did have AOC that condemned some of the stuff as well. You did have her talk about the protesters that were racist protesting in New York. But I was on Capitol Hill as well yesterday. I went out there to talk with some of the representatives to say, okay, if Tlaib is not going to condemn this, will you at least condemn some of her comments? Will you at least talk about the Palestinian flag being out there? Will you at least suggest that the Biden administration freeze the $6 billion to Iran? This is what they had to say. Mr. Leader, should Rashida Tlaib still have the Palestinian flag up?
This is America. You're allowed to wear the flag that you prefer.
I think she has every right to have that Palestinian flag.
I'm not going to comment on Rashida. She's a great friend of mine.
She's Palestinian. You know, that doesn't mean she's a terrorist. It doesn't mean that she condones this.
This was a gross attack on human life. It was reprehensible, and we want justice and we want peace.
The Biden administration says that $6 billion can be frozen. Do you think it should be frozen?
No comment.
Speaker Pelosi, should we freeze that $6 billion? The Biden administration said we have the ability to do that.
Well, I haven't heard that. You're just telling me.
Should we do that? Mr. Clyburn, should that $6 billion be frozen? The Biden administration said they have the ability to do it.
No penny is gone of that $6 billion. Iran should have no support. And we need to make sure that Iran cannot continue to fund these groups like Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and Hezbollah.
Oh, man. Lawrence?
I mean, just to put a bow on this, guys, the reason why this is important is not just to condemn the comments as well as the flag being stationed outside of her office, but to get to the core of it. And we talked a little bit about the president's speech yesterday, and there was a lot of heart there. But the one thing that when I talk to my friends that serve in the service as well as generals as well, the president did not identify the enemy. He did not address Iran. And you can have heart all day and say that you feel for the Israeli people. But to not address the people that helped them coordinate this attack is malpractice. To allow the $6 billion to be out there is still malpractice. And Admiral Kirby knows this, Lloyd Austin knows this, but they have been silent from that perspective, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're looking some live pictures on the unfolding war. that we're seeing now, and that is the area that is considered the Gaza Strip's territory.
Port of Gaza.
Yeah, the Port of Gaza. So that's their area, and that is where, with their semblance of Navy and terror activities would take place. So they are targeting it, and what we saw prior to you going to the package was a series of firing. I mean, it was almost totally obscured by the smoke. They know exactly where they're going. They're not arbitrarily just bombing out sites in Gaza.
Right.
They're going for the headquarters. They're going for the warlords.
So Gaza's 25 miles long. The power's turned off now. Israel stopped the entry of food and fuel and medicine into Gaza. And keep in mind, they warned all the civilians there to get out, that they were going to be doing this. The military, I assume, stayed. The Hamas terrorists stayed. Residents received a text message yesterday telling them to go to Egypt immediately. It said, "You stay and you die." Israeli warplanes hammered the Gaza Strip neighborhood by neighborhood yesterday, and we have images of that. Israel stepped up its offensive yesterday, expanding the mobilization of their reservists, too. What was the original number? They were calling in 150,000 reservists. Now it's 360,000.
Overall, a fighting force of 600,000.
Yeah.
And y'all might know people that left America. We all know people who left America to go over there because they were called. And you were telling me, if you're in another country, it's voluntary.
Right. Because the way military conscription works in Israel is after you graduate, you serve 2 years in the IDF. And then when you're done with that, you can be called up at any time until you are at the age of 45. And so that impacts tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people around the world. If you're here in the United States, I understand it is voluntary whether you come back. It is not necessarily mandatory. One of my friends just sent me something, and I'm going to preface this with it's from Twitter. I do not know if it is true, but it is quite a story. It says this fellow just read an account by an El Al crew member. Keep in mind, we were talking about this earlier. El Al is the official airline of Israel, and they sent a jumbo jet full of IDF members back to Israel yesterday. Anyway, this story, an Orthodox Jewish man who preferred to remain anonymous stood quietly near the El Al counter at JFK yesterday. Anybody who showed up and showed him an IDF call-up notice got his ticket paid for.
I think it's true. I read this article last night, too.
He paid for 250 tickets.
So nice of him. So nice of him.
Unbelievable. But it just goes to show you how, and we were talking with one of the rabbis who is over in Israel. It's wherever you are around the world, when your homeland needs you, you go. You drop everything if you can, and you just go.
Lawrence?
Yeah. You know, as we look at these live pictures and you see the shelling, I think it's important to note that as these soldiers are making their way to join the war here, and I know people are looking at this, and I know Israel is going to continue to be blamed in some sort by a lot of folks in the mainstream media. But I think it's important to note what Hamas is doing. They use human shields everywhere. These buildings have been given warning, and some of the folks decide to stay. They stay because they want the humans there. They want some type of propaganda to go out that it is Israel that is the enemy. It is Israel that is targeting innocent people. They've been doing this for a long time. So I think that is something for us to consider as we see these buildings collapse.
Indeed.
Yeah, I mean, Lawrence, you were talking about how so many people blame Israel. What was your reaction when you saw Black Lives Matter Chicago under fire for the pro-Palestinian post with a paraglider terrorist? So they're celebrating the attacks. Or in Sydney, Australia, at the Opera House, when they're yelling out "Gas the Jews." Or Free Palestine group in New York City burning the Israeli flag, stomping on it, and holding up swastikas, totally anti-Semitic.
I'm not surprised at all, Ainsley. A lot of these folks that identify with the Democratic Party, that calls themselves progressives, they look at the Jewish people much differently, and it's sad. And I think part of it is hate, but there's also part of it that is simply a lack of education. And they don't understand the Holocaust. They don't understand what took place. But I would challenge all of them. How could you be in the street in the summer of 2020 and talk about love and no justice,
Right.
no peace, and see these kids be slaughtered like this, and you say nothing, and you make fun of them, and you side with the terrorists.
Right, just like yesterday with the President of the United States, he doesn't say anything, it's not anti-Semitism. He's quick to say white supremacists are dominating America and have to be stopped.
Never talked about Iran.
Yeah, never talked about Iran and never brought up anti-Semitism. Just say it.